let's unpack this next chapter. I mean, can you imagine? You're inside a train car, steel pipes all around you, suddenly, bang, a huge jolt, and these massive pipes slide, almost crushing you. Wow.
Or picture this instead. Middle of the night, maybe 2 in the morning, you're freezing cold, barely awake on this narrow train catwalk, pitch black. And then an arm grabs you, knife at your back, demanding money.
Yeah, just immediate, terrifying danger. That's exactly what slams into Eugene in this part of his journey we're diving into today.
Exactly. Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. We are continuing our look into Eugene McMillan's autobiography, Vagabond on Victory Road. Just an incredible story.
It really is. And this deep dive is focusing squarely on Chapter 9. This has become quite the ongoing series for us, hasn't it? Following Eugene's whole journey.
It has. And believe me, there's still more to come. It's quite a saga.
So just to be clear, our source material today is just Chapter 9. And our mission, well, it's not just to list what happened.
Right. We want to really get into it, unpack this segment of his travels, look at the challenges, the dangers, those moments where he really had to make a choice,
And the insights he pulls from it all. We'll explore the dangers, the very real dangers of being on the road back then, and how fast things could just change.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chapter 9 kicks off in Baird, Texas. It's a Saturday afternoon. Eugene and some others just got booted off a freight train by the railroad dicks.
Yeah, the railroad police. Not exactly a warm welcome. So he's stuck in this town he calls a busy little metropolis, needing to find a ride, trying to head towards Fort Worth.
And while he's figuring that out, he spots an apple vendor, sees these really beautiful, tempting apples.
Yes, he describes them so vividly. He even makes this comparison like, if the forbidden fruit in Eden looked that good, he could understand Eve's temptation a bit better.
Which is quite a thought, given his circumstances. It shows how basic desires pop up even when things are tough.
And he's got no money, right? But he's clever. He actually trades his empty pocketbook, just the wallet itself, for 4 or 5 apples. An empty wallet for food. I mean, that tells you everything about where he's at, doesn't it? Possessions mean nothing next to just needing something to eat.
Yeah, a stark trade. But his luck does shift a little. Before nightfall, he manages to snag a ride. A pickup truck going a long way.
A really long way, 450 miles all the way to Hope, Arkansas.
That's a huge leap. So he covers a lot of ground, landing him in Hope, Arkansas. And this is around mid-November now.
He calls Hope a small town north of the Louisiana state line. But the main thing he feels there, loneliness. He says, not a single hobo did I meet.
That must have felt really isolating after maybe being around others. Kind of highlights how vulnerable he is alone like that.
Definitely amplifies it. And while he's there, he tries to hop a freight train, a fast one, but he misses.
Oh, and in the attempt trying to grab onto the moving train, he loses something.
Yeah, something small, but probably pretty important on the road. His safety razor just drops out of his jacket pocket. Another little loss that adds up when you have almost nothing.
Totally. So, okay, plan B. He decides to wait for the 8 o'clock evening freight, the one headed for Shreveport, Louisiana.
And while he's waiting in the yards, he does what experienced train riders do. He scouts around, looking at the cars already sitting there, trying to find a decent spot to ride.
And he finds what looks like a possibility. A gondola car, one of those open-top ones, filled with these long, heavy steel pipes, headed for the oil fields, he notes.
Yeah, and he sees there's some space at one end. Ample room, he calls it. Looks like a good place to settle in.
But there's a catch. The floor. It's ridged steel. He knows right away that's going to be agony on a long trip.
Right, super uncomfortable. But Eugene's resourceful. He spots an empty boxcar nearby, one that had carried bricks, and it has straw left inside.
Ah, perfect solution.
Well, he thinks so. He starts gathering armfuls of this straw, carries it over to the gondola car, and starts making himself a sort of makeshift bed in that open space.
Trying to make it bearable. And he's right in the middle of doing this when someone shows up.
Yeah, a black brakeman walks up and just peers over the side of the car, sees Eugene down there with the straw.
And asks him pretty directly, "What are you doing, bud?" Eugene just says, casually, "Fixing a place to ride in tonight."
But the brakeman sees where Eugene is setting up, down there amongst the pipes, and he gives him this incredibly stark warning.
This is crucial, isn't it?
Absolutely life-saving, potentially. The brakeman says, and Eugene quotes him directly, "You better not ride there if you thinks anything of your life."
Wow.
Because, he explains, dem pipes might slide right toward you and ping your body to the end of the car.
Just imagining that. Shuddering is the right word. Eugene says he gives a shuddering reply thanks the man, admits he hadn't even thought of that danger.
And the brakeman repeats it, just to be sure. I doesn't mind you riding this train, but don't ride down and da. Very clear instruction.
So, okay, the train starts moving later that night. Eugene, at first he listens. He sits up on top of the pipes, exposed.
But it's November, and he's freezing. He writes about how cold he was, how wind just cut right through his thin clothes, chilled him to the bone.
And he's sitting out there freezing, looking down at that straw bed he made. Sheltered, warm-looking. So inviting, he calls it.
Ah, yeah. That conflict, immediate misery versus a potential, maybe abstract danger later on. The pull towards comfort must have been immense.
It really must have. He says the temptation just grew and grew. The cold he was feeling right now started to feel worse than the idea of the pipes shifting.
And he gives in. At last I yielded. He climbs down off the pipes, gets into the straw, feels, just for a moment, satisfied and dozing. He's found some relief.
But that relief comes at a price he almost pays immediately. The train stops on a siding, lets a passenger train go by. He hears it like prolonged peal of thunder, then the signal to leave. 3 sharp whistle blasts.
The train starts up again. You know how those heavy cars jerk bang, bang, bang as the slack runs out down the line? He's nestled in the straw, maybe dozing, and he says he just didn't realize the awful danger he was in from those pipes right then.
And then his car connects. Clang! A tremendous jolt.
And exactly like the brakeman warned, he gets thrown against the end of the car, and that whole mass of steel pipes shifts violently right towards him, almost pinning me fast.
Oh my God. That's terrifying, his reaction.
Pure adrenaline. He bolts upright, stands there frozen in my tracks for a terrified moment, just trembling uncontrollably. The shock, the near miss.
I bet. And suddenly that cold air probably didn't feel so bad anymore.
Not at all. His perspective instantly shifts. He scrambles right back up onto the top of those pipes, decides the temperature up there was suddenly much warmer and healthier than was thought before.
Huh. A hard lesson learned. You ignore a warning like that at your peril. It really shows how we sometimes prioritize immediate comfort over potential risk.
Definitely. So the train keeps going, makes a few stops. At one town north of Shreveport, it stops for maybe half an hour. Eugene's still cold, sees a fire going near the tracks, goes over to warm up.
And there are 2 other guys already there by the fire.
Right. He describes them shabby clothes. One looks younger, smooth-faced. The other's older, has a few days of beard growth.
He tries to be friendly, say hello.
Yeah, but they just grunt back at him.
Huh.
He says they have this sour, sullen attitude. They're far from being the type who inspire conversation, just off.
And what's really creepy is what he realizes later.
Exactly. He figures out afterwards that their quietness, their whole vibe, it was because they had this awful, deep, dark secret. They were actually planning to rob him right there while they were all standing by the fire.
Oh. That sends a chill down your spine,
Yeah.
realizing you were sized up like that. Why him, though? Did he figure that out?
He thinks maybe they assumed he had money because he tried to stay relatively neat. His outfit, that navy corduroy suit, the flannel shirt, even a tie he wore for warmth, it wasn't typical hobo gear.
So he stood out. Maybe it looked like he had something worth stealing.
Possibly. And he thinks the thing that really sealed it, the thing they likely saw, was his watch. A gold 17 jewel Hamilton wristwatch. He says the cold made it slip down his wrist, so it was visible, probably glinting in the firelight.
Ah, okay, so they've targeted him, but he still doesn't know it. Then the train signals it's leaving.
Right, whistle blows, sharp and clear. Eugene runs for the train as it starts rolling slowly, jumps on.
And the 2 men.
Wait a second, watch him get on. Then they run fast and swing onto the exact same car right behind him, deliberate.
Okay, this is bad. Where do they end up?
On a tank car. Standing on that narrow catwalk that runs alongside it, sort of between the tank car and a boxcar. All the cars are full, so there's nowhere else to go and they have to stay outside. It's late now, maybe 2 a.m.
And Eugene's exhausted by this point, right?
Totally drained. He describes himself as a cold, sleepy, hungry, weary, homesick lad. So tired, he keeps nodding off, losing his grip on the handrail, startling himself awake with these little shocks of fear, just completely vulnerable.
And that's when they make their move.
That's when. Suddenly, a strong arm grabs him from behind. He feels a knife, a sharp hawksbill blade, press against him.
Oh, man.
And the robber starts snarling at him, cursing, "Don't move or I'll cut your insides out. Give me your money and be quick about it."
In that moment, Nice at his back. How does Eugene react? Panicked.
Surprisingly, no. He says his voice was surprisingly calm. He just tells the robber the plain truth. I don't have any money. None at all.
Does the robber believe him?
No way. He gets angrier. You're lying, he yells. More threats, more foul, blasphemous words.
No, he starts searching at...
Roughly goes through his pockets. The younger guy just stands there, doesn't say or do anything. They find small stuff, handkerchief, road map, and just toss it away. Useless to them.
But then they find something else.
Yeah. The robber shoves his hand into one pocket and pulls out Eugene's little testament.
His Bible.
Yeah.
And this changes things for Eugene, doesn't it?
It really does. Even with the knife, the fear, something just snaps inside him. He feels this burning indignation, and he actually speaks up, stands up for that.
What does he say?
He looks the guy in the eye and says, basically, listen, take everything else, throw it away, I don't care, but give that testament back to me.
Wow. To say that in that situation, that's incredible courage. Grounded in his faith, obviously.
Absolutely. The robber actually pauses, hands the testament to the younger guy, maybe tells him to check it for hidden money, but then they give it back to Eugene.
He gets it back.
Oh.
Must have been a relief, but still terrifying.
Huge relief mixed with, intense fear about what's next. And what's next is they take the one valuable thing he had left.
The watch.
His expensive watch. Gone.
And that wasn't just about telling time. That watch was his ticket home, wasn't it?
It was his whole plan. He was going to pawn it in Shreveport or maybe Birmingham, get money for a decent meal, maybe a bus ticket back to Lenoir, North Carolina. That hope just vanished when they took the watch.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But the ordeal isn't even over yet, is it? They robbed him, but they don't just leave him alone.
No. After pocketing the watch, the bearded robber growls at him, "Jump off this train right now."
Jump off. While it's moving. In the dark.
Eugene protests immediately. It says, it's dark. I could jump into a bridge, a swamp. I could be killed.
A perfectly reasonable protest.
But the robber doesn't care at all. He gets even angrier, nastier. Makes no difference. Get off before I cut you in two right where you stand. Just pure menace.
This Eugene is trapped. Jump into the darkness and maybe die. Or stay and definitely face that knife.
Exactly. He writes, what should I do? My life was at stake. He feels like it's almost suicide either way. Just a slim chance of survival, and the night is pitch black, clouds hiding the moon, total despair.
And then something happens.
Yeah.
Something unexpected.
Something truly remarkable. He calls it a heavenly shaft of friendly light. Like unseen, omnipotent hands had torn a hole in the shroud of clouds. Suddenly, moonlight breaks through, shining right down on them.
Right on that spot on the train.
Exactly. And the light doesn't just show the danger. It illuminates the end of the boxcar right next to where Eugene is standing, and he sees it. The single stirrup and handlebar where the brakeman usually rides, an escape route. Revealed in that sudden light.
Incredible timing. A chance.
A way of escape. He doesn't hesitate. Makes a powerful lunge for that handlebar, grabs it, holds on tight, and just as fast, the clouds cover the moon again, plunging them back into near darkness, just a dim outline. But it was enough.
What about the robber? He must have seen him lunge.
Oh, yeah. He's furious, bellowing with rage, Eugene says. The robber holds onto the tank car, leans across the gap, and starts slashing wildly at Eugene's face and hands with that wicked-looking knife.
Getting closer.
Closer and closer. Eugene feels it. In a moment, he would reach me.
So hanging onto the handlebar, knife slashing at him, what does he do?
He quickly swings his feet down from the stirrup, lets them drag along the ground below, feels loose cinders or gravel, seems safe enough to land on.
It's now or never.
It's his only shot. He lets go of the handlebar, tumbles over and over down the embankment, but lands okay, safely sprawled in the gravel. He made it.
Unbelievable. Just an incredible escape. And then what happens? Does the train just keep going?
Here's another strange thing. He's barely stopped tumbling when he hears the train's air brakes slam on hard. Checking the rolling monster of steel, he says, sees sparks, long streaks of fire from the wheels locking up.
The train stops right after he jumped.
It grinds to a halt so quickly that only the last couple of cars in the caboose actually pass him where he landed.
Why? Why did it stop right then?
He has no idea. He writes he won't know the reason until he gets to glory. It's just another one of those moments in this chapter that feels guided, maybe?
Wow, so he's safe, but lying there in the gravel, what does he do?
He gets himself together pretty quickly, climbs the ladder on one of the stopped cars, and just sits on the catwalk, totally exhausted and despondent, shaking uncontrollably from the whole thing.
Understandable, but then another feeling hits him.
Wyatt.
Not just relief or fear.
Yeah, pure hot anger.
Mhm.
Suddenly he thinks, wait, I must get my watch back. He starts looking around, desperate for any kind of weapon, a stick, an iron bar, anything.
He's going to go after them.
That's his first instinct. I'm going after those murderous hoodlums. Full-on rage, a really human reaction after what he just went through.
Absolutely. Being violated like that, threatened,
Yeah.
you'd want revenge.
You would. But just as fast as the anger flared up, it gets checked. He pauses, thinks about God's word. An old saying pops into his head, better leave well enough alone.
So he stops himself.
He does, and he feels this wave of shame, actually, conviction. Not so much for feeling angry, he thinks that's maybe understandable, but for letting his old nature jump straight to wanting personal, fleshly revenge.
And he connects this directly to his faith again.
Explicitly, he contrasts that vengeful impulse with the teaching in Romans 12:19. He even quotes it. Avenge not yourselves, but rather give place to wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
That is such a powerful moment, right after that attack, to consciously choose not to pursue revenge, but to lean on his faith instead.
It's incredible self-awareness and discipline in the heat of the moment. As he calms down, he prays. He confesses what he sees as his wrong attitude, and then he thanks God for saving his life.
A profound turnaround. What happens with the train then?
After a bit, it starts moving again, heading on towards Shreveport. They pull into the city within the next hour or so.
And Eugene?
He doesn't wait for it to fully stop, swings off in the rail yards, finds the street, and just starts walking towards town, left with pretty much nothing but the clothes he's wearing and that little testament.
What a chapter, just packed with intensity.
Unbelievably intense. So if we step back and look at Chapter 9, what really stands out? You've got these moments of extreme physical danger. The pipes, the robbery, the jump, real life and death stuff.
And moments of, well, human weakness too, right?
Yeah.
Giving in to the temptation of the straw bed, that initial flare of wanting revenge.
Exactly, but then contrasted so powerfully with incredible resilience and faith, standing up for his testament while facing a knife, that almost miraculous escape, and then that conscious reflection on vengeance, choosing principle over impulse.
Yeah, and I think this chapter really resonates because it just shows how vulnerable you were out there on the road, how quickly things could go wrong.
Terribly wrong. But it's more than just the external dangers. Is seeing Eugene's internal struggles laid bare, how he deals with fear, with loss, with being treated so unjustly. What strikes you most about his reactions, that calm voice during the robbery, the fury right after, then that deliberate shift?
It really makes you think about how we react, doesn't
Yeah.
it, when we face loss or feel wronged. Eugene lost something important, his watch, his way home practically, and nearly lost his life. His gut reaction was revenge, but he pulled back, guided by his beliefs.
Right. So what drives our own responses in those situations? Is it just that raw emotion, that impulse? Or do we have principles, beliefs, something deeper that guides us? Maybe it's a mix.
And how hard is it, really, when you're feeling that anger, that hurt, to actually leave well enough alone, to not strike back? That's a tough question this chapter forces us to consider.
It really is. That tension between our gut feelings and our guiding principles when we've been violated, that's a timeless human struggle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely something to chew on after this deep dive.